Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Killer Author Club. We are here tonight with the one and only Sara Divello, author of the 1920s true crime thriller, Broadway Butterfly. So good. And she's also the host of the popular mystery and thriller Mavens show. We have tons to talk about. So grab your cocktail, your list of questions for Sara, sit tight, and we will see you on the other side.
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done.
Hi, everyone. I'm Killer Heather Goodenkoff, along with founding members Killer Kimberly Bell and Killer Kara Ruda. And we are so excited to welcome Sara Divello to the clubhouse. The Killers and I started the Killer Author Club so that readers like you would have the chance to meet and interact with some of the best thriller writers and suspense writers in the business. Killers like Chandler Baker, Sherry LaPena, Frida McFadden, and the amazing and hilarious Karen Slaughter, and so many more. So all dates and times, etc., can be found at killerauthorclub.com. But tonight we're here with Killer Sara to talk about all things killing, fictionally, of course, but make sure to drop your questions in the comments and we will get through as many of them as we possibly can. So if you're watching this on Facebook or have a Facebook account, check out our public group, Killer Author Club, or if you're a really hardcore killer, check out our members only group called Killer Author Clubhouse, where we host our book clubs. The next one up is on August 15th, this Tuesday at 8 Eastern. We are here with the one and only Nicole Bart in The Long Way Back. So good. So make sure you get that read before Tuesday. And you can only catch that if you join the clubhouse. We also have a YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure you join us there as well. You'll find us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the socials. And for links to everything, watch the comments and check out our Killer Author Club website, killerauthorclub.com. And so now, without further ado, please introduce Kara, our killer guest.
I would love to. Sara Divello is a true crime writer and the creator host of Mystery and Thriller Mavens, a popular author interview series and interactive Facebook group. Her book, Broadway Butterfly, a thriller, was an Entertainment Weekly most anticipated book and earned starred reviews. Congratulations from Booklist and Library Journal. How amazing is that? For her weekly Mystery and Thriller Mavens live event, Sara's interviewed over 350 authors. She's going to be really fun tonight, you guys. Okay, ranging from the best-selling and world-renowned to the buzziest debuts. While creative and active on her own social media platforms, Sara also serves as the director of social media for the International Thriller Writers Association. In her spare time, she loves to teach yoga, cook and eat, garden, and go for leisurely walks with her husband and their beloved rescue mutt, Peluda. Is that the right?
Yeah. Peluda, yes.
Peluda. Okay, so Sara, welcome.
I'm so happy to be here. Yay!
We're so happy to have you. And congratulations on all the amazing success already for Broadway Butterfly.
Oh,
so for those who don't know already, could you give us an elevator pitch about the story?
Yes. So Broadway Butterfly is a true crime story about the 100-year-old cold case about a scandalous flapper named Dot King who was found murdered in her bed in March 1923 wearing a scandalous lace negligee that barely reached her knees. Gasp. And the investigation seizes front page headlines and goes nationwide because it is just ripped from the headlines. It is so juicy, and the tentacles reach from the underbelly of Broadway, the gangster underworld, all the way up to the White House. And this is a true story. Now, I am hashtag Team Twain. I think Mark Twain got it right. Truth is stranger than fiction, and I love that. And I get to lean into that in this story.
That sounds so good, and I love how you describe it.
So many questions.
I know, and we have tons to go over. So, okay, we'll get back to that. But first, Kimberly, could you introduce the cocktail?
Yes. So Sarah, and this will surprise all of you who just heard her little blurb about this book, she chose the Old Fashioned as her special cocktail. Sarah, would you like to tell us why?
So I wanted to choose an authentic 1920s cocktail. This is the heyday of prohibition, the era of speakeasies and jazz clubs and flappers dancing the Charleston. And I wanted something that captured all of that. So this is historically accurate, period authentic, and utterly delicious, I might add. So that is why I chose this, and I hope y'all enjoy it.
Well, thank you. And you guys can find the recipe. It's already up on killerauthorclub.com under I don't know where. Killer Drinks, maybe?
Killer Cocktails. Yeah, Killer
Something
Cocktails.
like that. You can see it. It's listed there. So cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Uh-oh, Shelly said she used to be a bartender and she hated it. I can imagine that because it's a little, it's got a lot of mixing going on. Oh, Shelly, I'm sorry. You know what? I found this amazing woman-owned liquor brand, and I found out that most spirits companies are actually super male-dominated, but there is a woman-owned distillery in Boston called Boston Harbor Distillery, and Rhonda is the rare woman maker of distiller of spirits, and she makes a pre-crafted cocktail called the Old Fashioned. So, Shelly, no need to strain yourself shaking and mixing. You can buy it pre-made from the delicious Boston Harbor Distillery, and I can tell you, she goes down real smooth. I'm gonna grab a bottle.
I'm all in on that because I am also not a cocktail mix.
Right here she is.
It's such a pretty bottle too.
It's such a pretty bottle, and it is so delicious.
It sounds revolutionary. Just saying.
I see what you did there, Kara. I like it.
Good. I'm glad you picked up on that because I was the wrong era, but I just had okay.
I love it.
Well, Broadway Butterfly was an instant bestseller on Amazon, and it's already racked up 3,500 and growing glowing reviews on Amazon. And Kirkus says development maintains a breakneck pace from one brief Dateline chapter to the next. Her pulpy, over-the-top prose credibly evokes the era's crime magazines, while her fidelity to the characters and the well-documented facts surrounding the unsolved murder give the story extra interest. Okay, so rave reviews all around. So Sarah, what everybody needs to know right now from you is, who do you kill?
So the murder victim is Dot King, and she is a 29-year-old scandalous flapper who tells everyone she's 27, which I just love so much. You know, I feel like that says so much about her in the best way possible. And the murder, the how is chloroform. So she is chloroformed to death. A rag soaked in the toxic poison is held over her mouth, and for 5 minutes. The medical examiner said he had never seen a brain so soaked with chloroform in his 12 years of working as a medical examiner. It was held over her mouth for a really long time, and she was suffocated.
Wow, that's terrifying.
It is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
That had to be like struggling and like that's a long time.
He fought hard.
You know it's coming. You feel it coming.
Yeah, because it's like strangling or choking somebody to death too. It's like they show, and maybe they make it seem like it's like, but it's like a really long, vicious. Not that I would know. Just
I was leaning in. I was giving you enough rope.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, but no,
speak
back to
louder
you,
into the
Sarah.
recording device.
Well, this book hits the trifecta for a killer read. It's got compelling characters, a shocking murder, and the backdrop of New York City in the Roaring 20s. So where did the inspiration for the book come from?
So, hi, Renee. Oh, Renee. So actually, that's a really good point. So chloroform was available OTC, over the counter. And it is really interesting because you wouldn't think that a toxic poison that could be used for murder could be found at your local pharmacy, your local CVS, you know, right next to the Tylenol, conveniently located, you know, where everyone could grab it. But it was. So chloroform was used as a medical and dental anesthetic. So if you had to get a tooth pulled or a tooth drilled, or you had to undergo some medical procedure, they would, you know, let you inhale a little to put you under but not kill you. But if you were having trouble sleeping, you could go to your local pharmacy and pick some up yourself and inhale, hopefully not a toxic dose. And it was available. It's crazy, but it's true.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, so back to Heather's question. How did you get the idea for this story? Where did all this come from?
So it was 10 years ago, ladies. 10 years
Oh my
ago.
God, yes, that was one of my questions. I was like, you've been doing this, like researching this for a long time.
A long, long time. It was 10 years ago. I was home for Thanksgiving in Philadelphia with my family. And you know, the day after Thanksgiving, there's not that much to do if you're not going to the Black Friday sales, which we were not because we're not insane. And so we're sitting around, we're having our leftover turkey sandwiches, our mashed potatoes, we're chatting, and conversation turns to reminiscing about old family stories. Hi, Randy. It's so great to see you. And so we're reminiscing, and my uncle Ed shares that back in the 60s, he and my uncle David, after high school classes let out, they used to sneak over to the old Stotesbury estate and sneak cigarettes and beers. And at first, everyone's like laughing, "Oh, ha ha! People smoked back then, you know. Oh, you snuck beers. That's funny." But then I was like, "Wait, what estate?" And because my aunt lives in a very normal, suburban neighborhood where everything is a split level ranch, circa 1950. 6 steps up, 6 steps down. Every house looks pretty much exactly the same. And so I'm looking around and he's like, yeah, there used to be this castle. And I was like, where was there a castle? I've been here my whole life. And he said, no, there used to be one of these old golden age, gilded age estates. And it had, it was huge. And it was, he didn't know the exact stats, which I later found out. He said, there's still ruins. You can go look at it if you want. Well, needless to say, I wanted. So all 11 of us pile into cars, we caravan over, and there in the middle of the next suburban development between the Subarus and the tulip beds are the ruins of a grand estate. There was 50-foot pillars stretching up to the sky to nowhere. There was headless statues of Zeus and Diana and the remnants of the edges of a pool where a fountain used to gurgle. There was a still intact, wholly intact Belvedere. And then you'd step through someone's yard and there would be the arm of a statue. And it was so bizarre. It was so cognitively dissonant to see these gorgeous old castle ruins in people's backyards that I had to know more. So I went down the research rabbit hole. I learned everything about it. It had 147 rooms, 28 bathrooms, 24 fireplaces, its own gymnasium, its own ballroom, its own radio station, its own movie theater at a time when movies were just being invented. 70 full-time gardeners just to maintain the exquisite grounds, chauffeurs, servants, valets, upstairs maids, downstairs maids. I mean, the wealth of this family. How many light bulbs, Renee?
I know.
I mean, it was so incredible. And so I was like, well, that was really cool, but Divello's not in the castle writing business. So, back to my work in progress. And so I went back to my other book. I was 50,000 words into another manuscript, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So 3 months later, so this was now February after that Thanksgiving, I went back. I was like, something was, my spidey sense was just tingling. And I went back, and in a 1950s book, and I have to go back and find the exact title of it, but it was something like Scandalous Philadelphia, the 100 most scandalous things that ever rocked the Quaker City. And there was one paragraph with one line, with one reference to, the Stotesburys, who were the wealthiest family in Pennsylvania, and Mr. Morgan of J.P. Morgan, fame's, Philadelphia partner, found themselves in a tight spot when this castle ended up being connected to a murder. And I knew that was my story. I had to write it.
So you were already busy writing fiction.
Yes.
That was something that you were, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I dropped everything because I had to write the story. I had to know more about this family. I had to know more about these people. I had to know, more about the story. Everything in me, in my bones, I was called to write the story. And I always, I'm a bit of a mystic. I'm a yoga teacher, and like you, Kara, a yoga doer. And I believe firmly that stories find their tellers and tellers find their stories, that there's connection. we're all living in the same world. We're actually living in the same country, but we write very different books because different stories and different themes and different ideas call to us based on who we are and our life experiences.
Right.
And I had to write this. And it took me 9 years because the case is complicated, because I didn't know diddly squat about the 20s. And because I wanted to get it right.
You have to like completely immerse yourself in knowing the lingo and the like, even just what someone would casually buy at a store or wear. I mean, that's what's amazing to me about historical, and to get all of that right is such a talent.
Oh my God, it's so brutal. It's
research.
Brutal. Because I'm like, oh, Julia zipped her coat. Oh crap, do they have zippers?
I know, right?
Like, did she button it? I don't know. And then I'm like, whatever, she fastened it. But there's only so many times you can use those sort of like glossy terms before it starts to feel weird. So then you end up spending all this time, researching it. But ultimately, I think that makes it really interesting, because I like those enriching details where it took me a day and a half to find out how much daycare cost in 1923. It was 5 cents a day. That took me a day and a half to find that one statistic, and it's only one line in passing, but it gives you an idea of how far a dollar went. If your childcare for your kid cost a nickel, it gave you a sense of what life was like and how much money you needed to live. And I think that's really fascinating.
But this was a real murder and a real case. So how do you balance like things that really happened in history versus telling a story? Like how do you find that balance?
So everything in the story is exactingly, obsessively, compulsively researched and true, except for 2 scenes which I had to fill in. So all of the dialogue that I could pull from direct quotes, I pulled from direct quotes. Everything that I could, I made it exactingly right and historically accurate, because these are real people. And I always think, when I read these biographies of Princess Diana, I'm a compulsive royal watcher. I'm like so guilty. I always think like that's so intimate and to write someone's story. And I think, get it right. If someone's going to write my story, I'd be like, hey, don't rush. Get it right.
Take your time.
Take your time. Like, don't forget that I volunteered for that children's charity, and also I was kind of rude to that person one day, like paint me as a complex whole human. And I wanted to honor these real people by painting their truths. And that took time. And I also wanted to draw everything that I could from the truth, from their actual words. And then I amassed over 1,700 pieces of original research. So I read, one of my lead characters is the lead crime reporter in New York City, who happened to be a woman, which is unfathomable in 1923, when less than 20% of women worked outside the home. Now it's like I think it's 56% of American women work outside the home. And at that time, women who worked, the few women that did, worked in domestic service as shop assistants, sales girls, telephone operators, or in factories. Nobody worked in newspapers. And the few women that did the ladies' pages, which was cooking, astrology, and advice for the lovelorn, or the society pages, which was fashion, because back then the celebrities of the day were the wealthy people, were the royalty of America, which were the incredibly wealthy people that comprised society. And Julia wasn't any of that. Julia covered the hard-hitting crime beat. This is unheard of. This woman's story has been forgotten by time. This woman's career should be taught in colleges and universities in history of journalism classes, but she has been completely forgotten by time. And I want her story to be told, and I want her incredible career to be honored and celebrated and taught. And
not anymore.
Not anymore. And I think that's really important to me, because she deserves that.
Yeah. I love that.
Amazing.
You have all this research. You spent years compiling it, and you are sharing some of that with readers on your website. I absolutely got lost in it. So it's so much fun. So if you do go to Sara's website, make sure you check out the section where she takes another deep dive into the real life characters of this story. So tell us what readers can find there.
So I wanted to share some, the pictures that I had amassed, and that and I wanted to show the places that I went. So I think someone asked where in Philadelphia it is. So it is in Windmore, Pennsylvania. It's right outside Philadelphia. I'm going there tomorrow to launch my book in Philadelphia, at another castle actually built by the same architect that built this castle. And it is, has 67 unique gargoyles. It has turrets. It's an actual castle, and it's like a mile down the road from the Stotesbury estate. So I wanted people to see, the tulip beds, the Subarus, and the towering pillars, because it's just so bizarre. So I filmed myself, walking. Yay, Nicole! Thank you for honoring her. I filmed myself walking around this field, saying, here's the pillars, and here's the Belvedere where this scene in the book happens, and here's where the fountain, here's this fountain, so that people who aren't necessarily hanging out in Windmore, Pennsylvania, can go and see it through their eyes, and and go into. When I first started this in 2014, the New York Daily News, which is the newspaper where Julia Hartman was a crime reporter, worked, those articles were not digitized. Like, I had to go into the bowels of the New York Public Library, the Milstein microfilm room. I had to go over, pull out a drawer, pull out the little tape round
the microfilm. Yeah.
I remember that from my college days.
And then scan it. That's not searchable. You can't. There's no search term. You have to use your eyes and look for the headline. Yeah, move it around on the plate.
Yeah,
and 9 years.
Yeah, and so I then print them out one at a time, which I did. And so I bring people in, I'm like, here's the Milstein microfilm room, here's the drawer with all the tapes, here's a microfilm machine, here's how it works, so that people can be with me on that journey. Here's where Julia would have lived. Here's where Dot lived, which is now a Hilton Hotel. The scene of the murder is now a Hilton Hotel. So, I filmed it out there.
I wanted to click that one too. Julie wants to know, were you able to find any descendants?
Hi, Julie. So this is such an interesting question, and thank you so much for asking it. So I tell this story through 4 characters, and Dot is the murder victim, but she's really the 5th character, in the way that the city in Sex and the City is the 5th character, like very present and the thread that holds it all together. So what is really interesting is that Julia was a child-free woman. And Julia kept her maiden name, which is literally unheard of in 1923, married a fellow reporter whose name is Westbrook Pegler, who went on to win the Pulitzer Prize in journalism for his reporting on Teamster corruption. And they didn't have children. They chose not to have children. And I think that is really interesting, because they were this 1923 power couple, this reporter couple. He worked at the United News, which is a news service, and then went on to become an opinion writer. And she was the crime reporter. And they had this fabulous marriage, and they loved each other so deeply. She called him Precious. She was from Tennessee, so I do it with a Tennessee accent. She called him Precious.
Oh, I can do a Tennessee accent.
Yeah. Cute, Kimberly.
Is that good? Kimberly is okay.
Precious.
Oh, Precious.
I like it.
He called him Precious, and he called her Julie. He called her Julie.
That's so sweet.
They had this incredible marriage, and they didn't have children. Now, could they not have children? I don't know. I don't want to put that assumption on people, because I don't like when people put that assumption on me, who has chosen to be child-free. Dot also had no children because she was murdered. She was 29, saying she was 27. Would she have gone on to have children? I don't know. She was living a pretty fabulous, a pretty gal-about town life. So that was not suited to children, but she may have settled down and had children. Now, the 2 other characters, Frances and Ella, did choose to have children. And so I think it was really interesting. And then a detective also never married and never had children. Unheard of for an Irish American cop. At that time, no, he should have had 12 children. So he was very interesting as well. And so I think it was really, what I love about this is that in this time when literally everyone had children, these people did not. And so no, they did not have descendants.
Interesting. All right, you guys. I think we have to move on. We have to move on to the like. I knew this one could just
so
talk
fast.
all night. We're gonna have to do like a what do they do in like some TV shows? Like we didn't have time for all this content during
After
the
show.
Yeah.
Right.
If you want to see the rest of it, Sarah can entertain. I mean, seriously, your stories are amazing, and we
So
could listen
amazing.
all night.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here. But we have to move to the next segment. So here we go.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right. So Sarah's giving away one copy of Broadway Butterfly, winner's choice of ebook or physical copy. All you have to do to enter is answer this question about Sarah. Bonus points for joining the Killer Author Clubhouse on Facebook and subscribing to our YouTube channel, people. Okay, question. What non-writing practice does Sarah engage in and also teach? And no cheating. Okay, everyone, you all know this. I think she mentioned it a couple times.
Oh,
Also,
thanks, Renee.
we have another little plug for yours truly. Okay, you guys, Beneath the Surface comes out 4 weeks from today, which is my next novel. I know. And there are giveaways galore going on right now. So there's a giveaway on Goodreads for 100 digital copies that just opened today, I think. And then there are 5 paper arcs giveaway going on Instagram. And I think Kimberly's putting those in the thing. So anyway, good luck.
And oh wait, where will Killa Kara be coming on to do her special pre-launch Q&A for that book?
Yes, I believe I might be talking to Sarah.
Full circle. Full circle.
People, full circle. We could just talk all night. So that's
Funny
great.
how that happens, isn't it?
I know. I love it.
Oh my goodness. Everybody's saying yoga. How are you guys going to pick a winner? Everybody's saying
I
it.
know. We just randomly draw them, but now you just gave away the answer, Sarah.
No, they're saying it.
All good.
Okay, you guys who said yoga are all
Don't
right.
make
So everybody
the
just
question
jump in
too
there.
hard for that reason.
Yes.
Yes.
So fun.
So, you guys, we do have some breaking news.
I love that.
That is so cute. Thank you, Heather. We are so excited to announce a brand new killer partnership with bookshop.org. If you guys don't know bookshop.org, they connect readers with independent booksellers all over the world. And you know that we killers love our indie booksellers. They believe, like we do, that local bookstores are essential to communities and they foster culture, curiosity, and a love for reading. Every purchase on their site supports independent bookstores, and the Killer Author Club has a one-stop shop on bookshop.org. We will be putting the links in the comments for that. And you can find all our titles there from guests past, present, and future, plus some fun lists that the Killers and I have put together. Like I said, we'll be dropping that link in the comments, and we will have lots more about this partnership in the next coming days, including some special killer discounts on some killer books on your TBR. So make sure to watch for that in the groups and on our Facebook pages. But in the meantime, Sarah has selected Murder by the Book as her favorite indie. Sarah, can you tell us why this story is so special to you?
Oh my gosh. So Murder by the Book is my streaming partner. We've been partners for 2 years now, over 2 years now. And they are one of the handful of dedicated mystery and thriller bookstores in the country. They are independent and woman owned. They are kick ass. And yeah, that's why they rock.
Yes. So we'll be dropping that link in the comments as well. So you can order Broadway Butterfly and any others on your wish list from Murder by the Book and bookshop.org.
Yay. And Murder by the Book, you get a Broadway Butterfly pen to take notes on the case and a raw rev gluten-free protein bar because you're not going to stop reading long enough to have dinner. So another reason.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Love it.
Right. Well, as much as we'd love to invite every amazing killer author to be featured on the show, there are so many, and yet there's only 3 of us, and we like to sleep and see our families, but we can't let this evening go by without celebrating another very special release. We are celebrating One Night by the wonderful Georgina Cross. Our very own killer Kimberly calls one night, a locked room stunner that unfolds at breakneck speed. One night, that's all the time a family has to decide what to do with the man they believe murdered their daughter. Do they forgive him?
So good.
Take justice into their own hands. So we will drop the link to that book, One Night by Georgina Cross, into the comments. So show Georgina and her book a little love as well.
Yes, I just dropped it. We also have killer swag for one of our members. Membership has its privileges. Every episode, we choose a name from the Killer Author Clubhouse. That's our private group, to win a piece of swag, t-shirts, mugs, candles. It's not lit, but there it is. Totes, hats, all of which can be found at killerauthorclub.com. Tonight's winner is
It is Kim Ulrich Braun is our winner today. So
sorry, we don't have a swag. We don't have an overlay. All right. Please send one of the killers your address, Kim, and we will send some killer author swag your way.
All right. Do we have time for a little special segment, ladies?
I said, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Because it is now time. Killer quiz night. We're going to see how many of these 1920 isms that Killer Kimberly, Killer Sarah, Killer Kara, and the rest of you know. So I'm going to post one here.
I know already.
I know. I think Sarah's probably going to win.
Here we go. Here's the first one. And if we need a little hint, I will give it to you. Flim Flam. Who knows what Flim Flam is?
Oh,
Miscellaneous thing.
I think like a suspicious person, like a guy who hangs around the newsroom giving tips. That's how I used it.
Oh, okay. Well, here's the way I found it.
Ooh,
Betty
that's what I thought.
After she was flim-flammed out of her life savings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
Julie
right.
got it.
Yay, Julie. Oh, shady guy. Someone else is saying.
Yeah.
Cookie's
Right.
saying a shady guy.
Yep.
Okay, number 2, shady guy. Yep. On a toot. If someone's on a toot, what are we to do?
They're on a bender. They're
That's right.
I love it.
They are.
I'm on a toot.
What was it you called it before? Giggling juice?
Giggle juice.
Giggle
Have my giggle
So you
juice.
drink giggle juice and you're on a toot. Okay.
I'm on a
So
toot.
that's it.
Next one. Spifflicated. Would you like that to be used in a sentence, or do you think?
That's so drunk.
It sounds like painful.
What was that, Sarah?
It sounds
also
painful.
Drunk?
Everything is drunk. Painful. Is
Yeah.
it drunk? Hey.
Oh,
Linda said it too.
Spifflicated.
Drunk. How do you know that stuff?
no. Linda, how do you know that?
Okay, next one. Number 4, is this the right one? Fire extinguisher.
The thing you put the fire out with?
I know this one. I forget. Oh my goodness. I don't work well under pressure, Heather.
Like sentence. Joey was bummed because Flo brought a fire extinguisher on their date to the movies.
Oh, an escort.
Ah,
Because they put out the heat. They put out the heat.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Okay, next one. Glad rags.
Like your dancing clothes?
no, are those like dirty magazines?
Kara?
We
No.
Who? What?
Kimberly was right. I mean, Kara was, no, Kara was right.
Oh,
Fancy clothes.
I
Glad
thought like
rags.
that's happy, like glad rags. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do a few more. Okay, next
Oh,
one.
Linda's killing it.
Banks closed.
Oh, that means no more kissing, no more smooching.
Please. No kissing or making out. The bank is closed.
I'm gonna start using that. I'm gonna start using
Yeah,
that phrase a
me
lot.
too.
If my husband leans in for a kiss, I'm gonna be like, sorry, the bank's
Bank
closed.
is closed. Okay, next one. A hay burner. What's a hay burner?
That's a party, right? No? Or like, because you'd have to be like.
I don't want to. That's terrifying.
I'm not guessing anymore. Those are mean. Those are mean, Heather.
I'm sorry. Joey hopped in his hay burner after Flo slammed the door in his face.
Oh, his car.
His car. It's a gas guzzling car, or it's also a horse that someone can lose their money on.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. All right. I know you know this one, Sarah.
Oh, sugar's money.
That's correct. Sugar is money.
And sugar baby and sugar daddy, these terms are from this case. We use those terms today because of this case, you guys. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay, last one.
Yes, Renee, this is gluten-free. Getaway sticks. That's the getaway mobile, right? The car. I feel like I actually get physically shocked when that happens.
I know. I think Heather's enjoying this too much.
Dramatic. Marge used her getaway sticks to run to the train station.
Her legs.
Yeah.
I love it.
So that was our killer quiz. Thank you everybody for taking part in that. That was fun.
This was so fun, you guys. Thank you, Heather, for those amazing 1920s slang. Let's bring these back. I'm gonna get on my getaway sticks.
I know.
Dude, get some pizza.
It was very fun. Great job. Okay, so now you guys. Oh no! Now my dogs are gonna bark. Oh no barking.
All right, you're invited.
Guess what? You survived the Killer Author Club, and even though you already have one of our stickers, we're going to give you a big one, a really big one.
I survived.
There it is. Yeah. So thank you. That's our thank you to you for being here, and you already have one, so that's awesome. And yeah, thank you, Sarah, so much. We really enjoyed that, and Heather, that was really fun, except the
I'm sorry, I have to tell
I liked it. It was.
It.
I'm awake now. That's what.
It was great.
It's gonna haunt my dreams.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much. Oh, Anne Marie, it's okay. I didn't get them all either. And my goodness, I wrote the book. It's okay if you failed me.
I didn't get any. Okay. All right. And you guys, thank you all for being here. Like so many questions we didn't even get to, but maybe we'll do a separate episode just to answer all those. But anyway, okay. So that does it for tonight's episode. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you again, Sarah, for being here. We're back in just 1 week, not 2, but 3 shows next week. So you don't want to miss any of them. So clear your schedules and mark these days. First up, An Unusual Day and Time. We're right here with the fabulous Karen Slaughter on Monday, August 14th at noon Eastern. So that's 9 Pacific. So grab your coffee and join us. We will not be having cocktails during that. And then on Tuesday, we have Book Club with Nicole Bart and The Long Way Back in the Clubhouse. So that's the Facebook Clubhouse, the private group that you need to join. And then you can watch us there. Super fun. All right. And then if that's not enough, on right after Book Club, Tuesday at the regular time, 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern, we have a regular Killer Author Club with Sherry Lapina. So holy camoli. So for everything you need to know, go to killerauthorclub.com or visit us on Facebook, and we'll see you back here on Monday.
Thanks, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for having me. This was so wonderful. Thank you.
Sarah.
I guess I'm a killer through our love and